I'll jump in first. So I'm NAV. Actually, only kind of recently joined the To Octavia squad in the grand scheme of things. I play guitar alongside Justin, who's not in the call with us. Um, but yeah, album coming out very soon. Very excited.
Beautiful. And who else have we got?
Do
Is
you want
it
me? I'll
me?
go next. I'll go next. I'm Lucas. I'm the drummer. Um, Nothing else to add for the album. No
That'll
breakdown.
do.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I am the singer of To Octavia, and the album Melodrama comes out on Halloween, so get it.
Octavia released your debut album, Melodrama, this Friday, October 31st. So how are you feeling? It's getting close.
Very exciting. Yeah, this album has been in the works for a very long time, and yeah, it's really exciting to finally get it out.
It's consumed more than the past year of my life at the moment, but I think more than a year of everyone else's. So
Nice. Can you dive into it a bit deeper musically for us and tell us what you were going for?
I think, yeah, we all were sort of on the same page when we were writing it about taking whatever it was going to be. We didn't know it was going to be an album at the time, but I guess more of a darker tone than the previous EP Wonderland, which is a bit more upbeat, a bit more poppy, rocky. We decided, oh, I guess naturally that we'd go back to a more metal influence, like our roots really, and yeah, that led to experimenting more and more with different kinds of sounds and things. And when we decided this is going to be like a full length album, that's when we really locked in and had the freedom to sort of experiment. And like one thing might not be a single or whatever, but on a full length you can spread those out and have nice cool things in the middle for experimenting. And yeah, I don't know, it was a good fun writing experience.
Yeah, it all happened like actually, yeah, really naturally in that the earlier some of the older songs on the album I think were written around the same time that we were writing our last EP, Wonderland. So it did
Mm.
kind of, yeah, we had these songs and we kind of built off it from there.
And you released the singles Something in the Water, What's My Name, Talk is Cheap, and Bury Me. So are they a good sonic representation of what to expect if that's all someone's heard?
I would say those are, yeah, I feel like they represent a yeah, I guess a general idea of what the album is, its moods and elements and things like that, for sure.
I just attack onto that. I feel like they kind of sit in like the comfortable middle ground of the album. There's definitely darker slash heavier stuff on the album, in addition to lighter or brighter, softer stuff on the album. I think the tracks released so far are kind of like the in between of, I guess, the two extremities of the album.
Yeah, there's some surprises in there for sure.
Nice.
And
You touched on
curveballs.
this a little bit before, mate, but you mentioned the heavier, darker direction on this. So is that a move forward that is going to keep continuing to explore, or is that just for this album?
That's a good question. I think we haven't thought about that yet.
No worries. But it's also like, how does it differ musically, I guess, then from your breakthrough EP, Somewhere in a World, Not of a Dream?
I think
I
it's
think
more. Oh, I was gonna say I think it's a bit more refined. I think Summer in a World we were still sort of finding out. Summer in a World and Wonderland are both sort of like finding out what To Octavia could be, and then this full length album is sort of a representation of where we sort of landed after those two, yeah, collections of songs, I guess.
It's a very brave move from you guys. Like to say that those two EPs are different sonically, and you sort of built your fan base on those. So most bands would play it safe and they just rehash that winning formula. But good on you guys for changing it up a bit, you know, like just taking that risk and on your debut going a bit more balls out. It's, I'd say, ballsy move, guys. Well done.
Appreciate it.
And yeah,
But you wouldn't say that fans of the older stuff would feel alienated with this, so would you?
I don't think so. I think fans always wanted us to go heavier from the start.
I think we do, like the album does feel like it will tick boxes for someone who's been a fan at any point. I think it's got a bit of everything from that's taken from our experiences from every other release that we've done.
yeah. I also feel like even though it is, I guess, a fair bit darker than the previous stuff, instrumentally and obviously vocally, it still feels very To Octavia to me. Yeah, even though it's, I guess, a little bit of a different approach, I feel like you can definitely see the To Octavia in it still. So hopefully people still like it. I'm sure they will.
Now, you mentioned like you've had a couple of EPs out now, and you guys have been around for a fair while, but going into your debut album, it's a pretty big deal. So as a band, what sorts of things do you discuss leading into that? Like, do you work out the battle plan, how you want to do things, or do you just put the best of what you got together and throw it out there?
We definitely had a battle plan for sure, like a lot of meetings.
What was discussed in those? Like, what sorts of things were you after?
Well, I wasn't listening, so the other guys can the other guys can answer that.
No, I think we I think yeah, because it wasn't planned to initially be the album, I think a lot of the bits and pieces did kind of come together without that plan in mind. And I think that once it did, we could kind of see the bigger picture, like we were thinking, I guess, what we kind of wanted to say on the album, that it is a bit darker, and it does explore some things that we haven't really explored before. So I guess, yeah, just trying to push the envelope a little bit more in that regard, I think was the battle plan bit.
No, I noticed there's no song on the album called Melodrama, which to me implies that there's a greater significance to the title.
The melodrama actually comes from a lyric in Talk is Cheap. And Lucas really attached to that that lyric, and especially that word, as a sort of representation of not just the song Talk is Cheap, but the entire album. And it's sort of, yeah, being full of dramatic, emotional elements, and also, I guess, somewhat theatrical moments within the album. And yeah, melodrama, sort of as an all-encompassing title, sort of just made a lot of sense.
I think that that title actually kind of was decided upon almost more organically than any other title, because initially I don't think we actually discussed that would be the name, but we, like, I don't know, hive mind collectively actively
Yeah.
decided between ourselves, just kind of working on the assumption that that was the name individually, and then we were like,
Yeah.
what are we calling it? And it's like, are we calling it Melodrama? Everyone's like,
Yeah.
okay, perfect, that's what we
It
all
was-
call it.
The
Yeah.
idea was thrown out very early on, and I think it just made sense. I think the whole way through, like nothing else felt like it fit any better.
I think it's the only title of anything we've ever released that didn't have to go through like a few different versions and a few discussions.
Wow, you guys maturing.
Yeah,
Working better
it's about
together.
time.
Good on ya. Speaking of maturing, the release of the first single off the album, Bury Me, saw the debut of yourself there, NAV. So how have you settled in?
Yeah, great. So, obviously, like the squad and I know each other from a long time ago, where I played in a different band and we kind of played on shared bills. So that's how we kind of first met. But yeah, ever since, I guess, touching base a bit more closely, before joining officially as a part of To Octavia, I don't know, gelled perfectly is how I would explain it. Felt very much at home just in conversation. So yeah, it wasn't a hard decision for me. I'd like to think it wasn't a hard decision for anyone else.
I was going to say that's what you think. Now let's see what the other boys think.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So hopefully, but who knows?
He was our last choice, actually. Everyone else said no.
Won it by default.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He was literally our first choice. That's who we wanted. And we're lucky to have him.
Guys, and I'm imagining with the album coming out, you guys have planned some shows to launch it somewhere.
Yes, for sure we will be.
You tell us about it yet, or are they not announced?
We can't tell anyone about them just yet, but yeah, more news will be coming.
Yeah.
Just focus on the release day at the moment.
Where can people keep an eye out to see what is coming up?
All the usual places: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. Zuckerberg nonsense. You can get on there and look us up.
Fantastic. Now, before I let you go, guys, I've got a new segment I've started called Photo Bomb. So basically, I've trolled through your social media before you've had a chat. I found a couple of photos that I want to know some more about. So this is one of them. Like, I'm not sure if this is a home brand Christmas you got going on, or what it is, but what's the story there?
That is.
Yeah,
you want to tell me?
No, that's all right.
Yeah, Justin, our guitarist. That was. Where did you find that? I thought that would have been really far back.
We were at my place, I don't know, like 2020, just before like the whole COVID thing happened, I think. And yeah, there was like a falafel food truck like down the street from mine, and we're all sort of half cooked and went out for a little wander to get a kebab or something. And this genius thought it was a good idea to grab one of these orange cones that he found off the side of the road and bring it back, put it on his head and started playing guitar. I don't know. And we obviously took a photo of him because it's great. I don't even know why we posted that.
But
I'm
the
glad
next
we
morning, I remember we found was it a redback? There was a spider in there of some sort.
Oh, yeah. In the thing, there was like an actual venomous spider in the top of it that he was wearing on his head the whole day.
After he'd had it on his head, you found it.
Yeah.
Insane.
It was probably there the whole time. Or maybe it crawled out of his hair into the cone.
It crawled out of his ear.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Nice. Now, I found one more, and there's a couple of photos like this, and they're a little bit disturbing, guys. Like, why are your eyes scratched out in all these photos?
Yeah, whose idea was that?
No, that was a bit of a creative thing that we wanted to try. We kind of like the idea of just trying
anonymity.
Yeah, I guess trying to put that out there a little bit with some of our pictures, and yeah, we gave it a try. Loved the pictures. Those were taken by Andrew Vaughan, and he did a great job with like adding all the effects on there.
Whose 2-year-old child did the scribbling out? Because they're terrible scribbles.
I also think it kind of ties a little bit into like album concept and even the album artwork. I think we wanted to approach the concept of identity a little bit.
Okay.
And that kind of leans into it, and I think in a similar fashion to the album artwork itself. Just with like kind of that mixed media approach and no defined facial features, things like that.
Very nice. All right, boys. Well, that's all I've got for you. The album Melodrama comes out this Friday, October 31st, just in time for Halloween. The boys are going out on the road, but they're not allowed to tell us when. So keep an eye on their socials and make sure you get along and check them out when they come to a town near you.